everybody, my name is Short9614 and welcome to a very special, well, it's not a very special KSP stream, it's a pretty standard Kerbal Space Program stream. But as you notice, this is a stream that is currently not on my... Hi Ryan! This is a stream that is currently not on my regular schedule. As you can tell, it is a Wednesday. It is not a Thursday or a Saturday or a Sunday or a Monday, but a Wednesday. How is the audio, Ryan? Is it all good? So, I am streaming today because I want to get a bunch done. I want to keep up the progress in KSP. That's good to know. I want to keep up the progress in KSP, but I unfortunately couldn't stream on Monday because I felt really bad, and I'm still kind of feeling a bit under the weather. I have a headache, but I want to get this done, so there's going to be a KSP stream today and a KSP stream tomorrow. And delete that. Untitled Spacecraft, okay. But we are going to work on our lander because we need to get it ready for a flight test. I want to do a flight test and also design at the same time kind of design the rockets that are eventually going to help assemble the self-sustaining ship. So that involves basically my basic idea is I want to fly this thing out to the Mun, right? We're going to, this needs to get into the low lunar orbit, this craft, which weighs 144 tons, all by itself. This needs to go into low lunar orbit, and that's going to be utterly ridiculous. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to design a stupidly fucking massive transfer stage, and I don't think we're going to be able to launch all this in one go. We're going to have to launch this in the transfer stage to low Kerbal orbit, and then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to then basically we're going to have to refuel it. So we're going to have to design a refueler. So let's get started. All of the you can do it, yes I can. So let's get out a Kerbal Space Program Delta V map, right? And a calculator. So to get from a roughly 80 kilometer Kerbal orbit, it takes 800 to get a lunar to 80. So it takes 1,140 meters per second to get from low Kerbal orbit to a low lunar orbit. So that's our goal. I'm gonna say, just to spare, I'm going to add an extra 200 in. So roughly 1,300 meters a second, right? So that's what we're going to have to do. So what I'm going to do first is we are going to add in a... we're going to add in a little spacer right there. Oh, that's too small. We're just going to add in a little spacer to make sure that our stage can actually, what's it called? Get there. It's not going into the engines. Actually, how big of a stage do we want to make this, though, in terms of a transfer stage? Let's just start looking through all these adapters and seeing what we have, right? There is, I think the one that's the most NTR 500. No. Here we go. This. So, how is everyone doing today? How are you doing today, Ryan? My day was okay. Why does that have 85 meters a second? Okay. I'm good. Well, I went to work today, which was fine. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to disable the crossfeed in between these. Disable crossfeed. So I'm just gonna see how much. I'm doing okay. I had work today. I have work tomorrow. Normally I wouldn't be working tomorrow, but the circumstances have turned out to be a bit different from what I expected, and as a result, I am going to work tomorrow. Which is fine. Actually, hold up. How do I want to... Huh. So, what I was thinking is our transfer stage is also the upper stage to the rocket that lifts this into orbit, right? So, what I think I'm going to do is airstream is 5-meter fairing, maybe. Why is that backwards? The 7.5-meter fairing. Why is that backwards? Oh, because hold up. We're gonna flip that over, because that's the front of the spaceplane hangar over there. Yeah, so I work today, I work tomorrow, and I work Friday, and then the day after that is Christmas. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun, I guess. What is it, NTR? The NTR fuel tanks, the really big fuel tanks. The big fuel tanks. Fuel tank adapter. Where are the 7-meter fuel tanks? They're here somewhere. Here they are. So, we might just need something like this. Let me just see, right? Let's get out an engine plate, right? It's the biggest engine plate that I can... Lower stage, upper stage engine mount. Something like that. Oh my gosh. Let's just set those as empty for now. What kind of upper stage engine do we need, right? So, Kerbal, vacuum. I don't think a single... Well, that would get us there, right? But that is a minuscule 0.16 thrust to weight. That is, not much. So what is... Skipper? That's like the J2, right? No. The skiff is like the J2, so that's our J2 engine, which is somehow even less, right? But what if we just slap a bunch of J2s on our rocket, right? What if I just put 6 of them? Do we even really need 6? What about just 3, right? 3 J2s. Something like... Why can't I get those on there? Yeah, something like that, right? So, I did actually pick up some new things, some new items from... Which would that be? 0.37? I did actually pick up some new items from the model train store, which is a few weeks ago. Oh, that kind of looks ugly. Oh well. Oh wait, never mind. Compact. A few weeks ago, well, about a week ago, I picked up a Union Pacific, I don't even know, I think it was a Wathers thing. A Union Pacific, wood chip hopper, right, from the store. And actually, can I just do this in like 6-axis symmetry? Why am I, and so today, and it was really nice. I really like it. Oh, there we go. And I went digging. Oh, but that's not enough to get us from where we need to be to where I want to go. What was that? Oh, we can just use this fuel tank. And Gosh, I cannot speak today. So yeah, I really liked it. I'm like, huh, I I want another one of these, right? So today I went digging through the model railroading back rooms of the store, just trying to find shit that we could sell. And I found a bunch of these really nice HO scale freight cars. And I'm like, you know what? I should buy these, or I should buy some of them, right? Because they're nice. I do HO scale. And I found Northern Pacific wood chip hoppers, right? Two of them. They're not the same exact wood chip hopper, but they're close enough, right? And so I brought them home with me today for $20. I bought them. Really high quality metal wheels, Katy couplers, all that fancy stuff. Two of them, yeah, which means I now have three. I have three of them. Two Northern Pacific, one Union Pacific. It is very based. Can I even hold up? So yeah, that was what I brought home today from the model rail train store, and I have to obviously go back tomorrow for work, which is fine. It was either I didn't work, obviously. I didn't work yesterday because I wasn't feeling good, and then, you know, typically I try and work 3 days a week no matter what, and that's also what my boss likes as well. So I'm working 3 days in a row, which I've never done that before. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. Very good indeed. Absolutely charming. Alright. Based on what? On the low-paid railway labor of 19th century immigrants, primarily of Chinese and Irish descent? I don't know. Hi Spud, how are you doing? I was, Did I say based anywhere? Where did I don't know. I'm just working on getting a launch vehicle for this thing. So what I'm doing, right, is I have an idea for how to get this thing out here, which is basically, I launch this thing into orbit empty, right? And then to save my own sanity. But then I go ahead and I refuel it on orbit. You did say the word like 3 minutes ago, and Union Pacific. Well, I did buy a Union Pacific HO scale wood chip hopper the other day, so I guess it makes sense. So yeah, back to what I was saying. I don't know why it defaults to the European flag. My basic idea is I launch the Orlander empty into low Kerbal orbit, and then I refuel the whole thing using a massive fucking tanker. And then I send it out on a test flight, and we can reuse the rocket for that tanker for when we go to fuel up the self-sustaining ship whenever we make that, which is good. This has a bit too much fuel. Let me just adjust that downwards. 1,400. Oh hell no! They done made the Kerbals Eurocentric. We know a fair amount of people who'd really like that, but oh well. None of them are here, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, Spud, did you watch the Vega launch last night? I watched that thing live. Orlander launch vehicle. I don't know what we're gonna call it. That was pretty, that was pretty wacky. I didn't watch, but I heard. Yeah, I saw it live. Call it the Grand Charmer. We'll call something else the Grand Charmer. Probably not the Rocket. What the fuck? Oh, okay, never mind. But oh, that's perfect actually. That's a nice interstage. Oh, let's see. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Vega launch. That was very fun. especially when I suddenly look over and the thing is going way off course, and then, you know. So, I guess one of the ongoing theories is, one of the ongoing theories for the Vega launch is that the casing on the second stage SRB, the nozzle blew off. Because if you look at the footage, right, the SRB is fine, and then it gets to a certain point where you see the SRB and the plume goes all over, and that's kind of indicative of the fact that it's not really going in any singular direction, the plume. So the nozzle may have cracked or melted off or something, but yeah, that sucks for Europe. Considering they only have 2 Vega rockets and two Ariane 5 rockets left in storage, and Ariane 6 isn't going to be ready for like another year, so more payloads for SpaceX to launch, because that's what they're going to launch it on. All right, this is good. Should I make? Oh, it's just white. Okay. What lower stage engine should I put on this? I could put a Mastodon. Oh yeah, this stupid frickin' thing. I think this is supposed to be, I now have 710 chipper coins. Well, you can spend those chipper coins on all sorts of wacky things. Heck, you can make me take off my glasses in real life, once you get to a certain amount. That would be pretty funny to do during a launch. Or when I'm reading something, I don't know. Okay, hold up. I gotta do something in order to get these stupid things on here. These are 7-meter parts, by the way. SpaceX fans in 2023 watching the Starship owe it T of T plus 2 minus 2 minutes 23 seconds when the lower stage methane tank experiences a critical pressure failure due to an insecure bolt, causing the second largest non-nuclear explosion U.S. in world history. Yeah. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. What the fuck is with this engine mount? I might just have to 4-2. What is that? That adjusts the fins. Okay. I might just have to mount these manually, like that, because for whatever stupid reason it doesn't want to. I doubt this is going to be enough. I'm probably going to have to add more. I mean, we joke about this kind of stuff, Spud, but it actually kind of sucked if that happened. There are now several federal agents charging towards our household. Nice. Okay. I mean, I do live near DC, so it would suck. Hold up. Delta V tools. I fully expect the upper stage reentry to fail, though. I think that Starship is going to work decently well on its first try. Let me just say this, I think it's going to make it to orbit, right? Whether or not it makes it back is a whole nother... I can see that less. Let me say this, I am a lot less I am more confident in Starship making it to orbit on the first try than I was a few months ago. However, I am still significantly less confident about Starship making it to orbit on the first try versus how confident I was about SLS making it to orbit on its first try. I was pretty confident about SLS, considering, I guess it makes a lot more sense. Because, well, you had all that... What the fuck? Why does it... Okay, hold up, I gotta reload the thing. Because obviously with something like SLS, you have all that, hardware. Like shuttle-era hardware. But with Starship, Do I need to restart the game? Why isn't it showing my thrust to weight? Kerbal Engineer? Why aren't you working? Oh, never mind, it is. I can just, that's the stock thing. I can use Kerbal Engineer up here. Alright, so... this thing, stage 4... Atmospheric. Does not have enough TWR. Nope, not at all. Okay. What's like the highest thrust engine in the game? What's like the highest thrust engine here? Let's compare... Miranda has a lot of bad takes, but I do think even if upper stage recovery never works, it just turns into a big dumb reusable booster. It'll still be a commercial success as a generally decent take. I know she likes to call it, like, modern-day Sea Lion, but part of what made Sea Lion such a... Part of what made Sea Lion Sea Lion was the fact that Sea Lion was something, it was pressure-fed, right? The engines are literally as simple as you can get in terms of a rocket engine. Yeah. But here's the thing, Raptor engines are not simple, right? They're not simple, and I would still imagine they're fairly expensive. Now, of course, obviously, if you do things enough in scale, if you scale, Raptor production up enough where you're producing a bunch a day, then maybe you can get the cost down to the point where it doesn't matter if you reuse them. But you have to remember that, like, I assume this is basically just Raptor, the Orca. Yeah, what am I trying to say here? Part of what made Sea Dragon so simple and kind of brilliant of a design is that it was a pressure-fed system. It was literally using the simplest type of rocket engine you could ever possibly imagine, right? Starship is using Raptor, which is a full-flow stage combustion cycle engine, which is constantly operating at high pressure, is very complicated to build. And even if SpaceX can manufacture them bunch, like multiple Raptors per day, which I think they're at about one a day right now, which I can see that happening. I don't think you're ever going to get to the point where a big dumb booster requires a big dumb engine, and Raptor is not a big dumb engine by any stretch of the imagination. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I know, I get why Miranda says that, but I don't know, part of me just doesn't really see it. I think that's kind of... So... I don't know. To be fair, the big dumb booster concept is not really something that's been done before. It's been proposed a bunch. And I think part of that is just the nature of super heavy launch vehicles in general. These things are inordinately complicated. Ohio. Oh, hi, Star. Welcome, welcome. How are you tonight, by the way? I am working on this. Getting a rocket made for this. Okay, there we go. Shit, I don't like the look of that. Are there any, like... that would get me... I'm gonna give my current vague expectation what Starship will end up doing in multiple messages now. Go ahead, I don't care. We're here to talk about whatever. Not necessarily space stuff. In fact, two of the people here don't really know much about space, but they're my friends, so... I appreciate everyone watching the stream. Regardless if you're particularly interested in the game or not. I just like having people around for these things. Space Kid from Camp. Yeah, well, oh wow. Okay, so that has a TWR of 0.95. His name is Neil Jr. Oh. I see. Are there any engines with higher thrust? What about the SSMEs? No? Orcas are still better. I might need to slap some boosters on this thing. Oh well. What about the other engine plate? Okay. Upper stage, lower stage. That's the one that I used before on the other vehicle that was a hot mess in terms of actual rocket. The chipper coin count keeps cumulating. Yeah, you can spend your C hipper coins on playing funny sounds. By the way, Spud, I'm not ignoring what you're saying. I'm just waiting for you to finish before I read off all your messages. Let's see. I might just say screw it and just put boosters on this thing. SRBs. So yeah, Star, how are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Okay. That's... This thing has more than enough to, like, SSTO. 4,000 meters a second. Roughly 4,500 meters a second. We only have... TWR is still down. I might shorten the tank and just add not in a great mood. Well, that sucks. That's fine, Star, if you don't want to talk in chat. I'm just happy that you're here. Happy that everyone else is here, Spud, Ryan. Well, I hope whatever's getting you down will eventually pass soon. Spud, tell me when you're done, so I can actually read it off. Okay. So that's close. I still need a bigger fuel tank for that, or just another one. I kind of want to right-size this booster instead of... Okay, there we go. And then what I can do is I can add some boosters, and that should give us enough. Okay, I'm about done. Okay, let's see what you have said. It'll be a functional launch vehicle from the get-go, and booster recovery will follow not long after. This will not make it profitable by any stretch yet. I don't disagree. Upper stage recovery will take 3 to 5 years to reliably work, about booster recovery did for Falcon 9. From there, it will just do ride shares constantly, and Starship Rideshare will become the equivalent of Starlink Mission now. Starship Rideshare and Starlink Mission will become the Starlink missions of now. HLS will work eventually in like 2026, 2028, and Artemis 3 will happen slightly after. Yeah, 2027 for Artemis 3 sounds about good. Starship will end up being a primarily LEO hauler, although a quite successful one. It'll never actually go to Mars on its own. When the eventual Mars program happens, they'll just use a modified version as a lander like HLS and a dedicated MTV for transport. Okay, I'm about done. I've always believed that Starship, you know, obviously we fixate on the moon missions and the Mars missions, but Starship as a LEO access vehicle is going to be really, really nice. I think what Starship needs to be a successful LEO access vehicle is, number one, a robotic arm, and number two, a shuttle-style payload bay to kind of carry up a lot of payloads and a lot of multiple payloads at once. And obviously, Starship's design, obviously, you don't need to refuel to go to low Earth orbit, or I don't even think you need to refuel to go to geostationary orbit, and I feel like a lot of people miss that. So I think it's going to be a fairly good access vehicle for a low Earth orbit. I don't necessarily disagree with you on the eventual Mars program. I think that I don't think that the United States government, unless there's some kind of a major change in space policy, is going to allow private companies to... They're not going to allow Elon Musk to basically go to Mars on his own, right? In the same way that I think part of the reason why, at least not the full reason, obviously, but part of the reason why SpaceX bid for HLS, and part of the reason why it was even selected is I think Elon Musk realized this and said the United States government is never going to let SpaceX by itself go to Mars, or to the moon even. So you might as well get in on whatever NASA program is there at the time to kind of make sure that that happens. And I think it's honestly going to be the same for Mars. Not to mention that Starship is kind of an awful transfer vehicle anyways. Starship is much better at saying building the transfer vehicle used to get the Mars than actually being the Mars transfer vehicle in and of itself. I don't know, maybe like Starship docking, being used to build and then dock to say like a cycler would probably be something that I'd probably expect, but that would be rather nice. Where's the proper nose cones for these things? I can never find the proper nose cone. Probably for the best. I don't know. I'm always big on I'm the kind of person who really likes two ways to get to everywhere. Like, for example, I don't understand why there's this insistence on for example, only using Starship for lunar missions, or say only using SLS and Orion for lunar missions. I think there's a lot of value in having more than one way to get to places. So Starship being a Mars vehicle on its own would be good, but Starship also as a part of, say, a larger kind of Mars mission architecture would also be rather nice. Or preferably you have Starship as one way to get to Mars, and then like a cycler with its own lander that was launched on, say, SLS as, say, another with a Nerva engine or something. Good night, Michael, and other people in chat. Night, Ryan. Oh yeah, it is super late for you. What is it, like, how late is it for you? Like 6 hours ahead? Bye, Ryan, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, he's in the UK, so it's like super late for him. I don't really know how to put this, but the political implications of a Starship-only Mars mission would be far more disastrous than space exploration for any of the engineering problems. I can see why. Basically, why are we letting, not saying I necessarily agree with this idea, this sentiment, but why are we letting a billionaire have free reign over basically transport to another planet? Yeah, I see how that can go down. 2:30. Oh my gosh, get to bed. uh but yeah, that's why that Starship can 100%, it can 100% do like Mars, Moon and Mars missions by itself. I just think the politics simply just won't let it happen. Which is part of the reason why I want to see Starship kind of used as a way to like build other vehicles, or as simply one vehicle in a larger kind of deal. Because typically looking back in history, good mission architecture a politically viable program does not make. Come on, I need more fuel. That should get us into orbit. Should it? That's not gonna get us into orbit. We're gonna need more solid rocket boosters. Oh my gosh. By the way, I added a... Hold up. I added in a... Let me take a sip of water. But I added in a... There was like a bot that I set up to send like a message in chat. Every so often. How long have we been streaming for? 30 minutes? Should have sent by now. Oh well. Anyways. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna shut up for about a minute, and I'm gonna try and just hammer out this vehicle real quick. Just hammer this thing out, get it done. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a link to the Discord server. Is that the bot, or was that just, 'cause that was the bot that I set up, the link to the Discord server. Oh well. Let's see, more boosters, right? Are there any bigger SRBs? Oh, that's Clydesdale. Oh, the Clydesdales are bigger. Okay, that's what we might have to end up using. Hold up. Yeah, that's okay. The Clydesdales are what we want to use. These things. These massive SRBs. And of course, I also have to add Sepatrons and whatnot. Today's stream is mostly just me designing the craft, right? Like tomorrow is when we will what's it called? Actually launch all this stuff. Let's see, nose cone. I need a nose cone. Payload, aerodynamics. Yeah, and then I'm also declaring that I'm gonna like hard stop this stream at like, I don't know, 10, maybe 10:15, because I have to wake up a bit early tomorrow because I'm going into work a bit earlier than I normally do as well. Trying to basically get all this done. want to get this booster done, right? Maybe we'll get the booster done, and then we can fly a test flight, and the basic, like a simulated test flight, right? The tanker isn't going to take long. The tanker is going to take like 5 minutes. It just needs to be a massive fuel tank that can rendezvous and dock, right? Oh, that was a text wall. Hold up. Let me get this done, and then I'll read it. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got those Sepatrons. Okay, so those Sepatrons go up there, right? How much of these can gimbal? What's the gimbal range on these? 4? That's decently good. What's the gimbal range on like these? That's 100. We'll put some fins on this just in case, right? Help us better, really? Okay. Those fins do kind of glitch into the boosters a little bit. Oh well, I think I'm just gonna have to deal with the fact that that exists like that, and it's going to drive me insane, but what can you do? Okay. Let me get some more Sepatrons, right? And then we'll put it in the fairing, and then we'll see if it can, how this thing flies. As I said, I'm putting a hard stop at about 10 o'clock or so. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. Another thing that I did realized in using this inner stage is, for whatever reason, these things like to wobble. Like, the inner stage isn't like a hard thing, so we're going to need struts. And as I said, Spud, I'll get to that in a moment. I'm just trying to focus on getting this done, so I'm not just talking with you the whole time. Shit, okay. This is why I designed in the SPH, because increased camera controls. Sorry I'm taking up too much of the stream. No, it's fine. I'd prefer people chat than not chat, if that makes any sense. I'm just... As I said, I'll get to that in a moment. I'm just trying to get this done. And then, after that, I'll read your thing. But you're not taking up too much of the stream anyways. Don't feel bad about it. Okay, there we go. Okay, time to build a fairing. Fairing's gonna be a bit... Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me shift the whole thing back, right? Yeah, shift that back. We can actually build the damn thing. Ah, come on. There we go. Okay. That fairing isn't actually that bad, right? It should be good. Keyword should. Alright, let me read this, right? The fact of the matter is, regardless of any stances on this or politics in general, that space exploration is currently experiencing a worrying amount of increasing partisanship, which many left-wingers are starting to oppose it and right-wingers support it. I'm personally slightly left-leaning and pro-space, but that's not really relevant. I'm just trying to make the point that I think keeping space politically and partisanly neutral is going to be an extremely important balancing act in the coming years. The implication of one party or the other starting to flat-out oppose deep space as a political plank would be disastrous. I don't necessarily disagree, and I wonder if... My first thought immediately goes to... I wonder if... the degree of commercialization we have seen has kind of contributed to that, in terms of, you know, a lot of the people who are investing a lot of money in space right now are, or I guess the most visible people who are investing a lot of money in space right now are, you know, who for a while were the only people who could invest in space for billionaires, and that's kind of the degree of commercialization we have seen in spaceflight has kind of led to that. I wonder if NASA had a more robust deep space program that was more visible, something like Constellation, for example. I wonder if people would see that as kind of a counterweight to commercialization within the general public. I do kind of wonder how, like, private space versus, like, say, NASA, what's NASA's doing, seen among, you know, maybe not the general public, because the general public doesn't really know much about space, but kind of the slightly more well-informed or politically active people, you know, in the public. But, yeah, oh well. Sorry, drinking water. I don't disagree with you there, Spud. Huh. Okay. So this is done. Well, done. It's the rocket is done. The launch vehicle is done. Ish. The main design of it is done, and the lander is done. So what I'm going to do is I am going to test fly this. So my initial idea, right, was to see if this can make it into orbit. Basically, to see if I could make just this, the upper stage, and the lander into orbit by itself. Actually, no. By the time what am I trying to say? It's getting too late, damn it. I was trying to see if I could get the upper stage and the tanker into orbit with the lander empty and the upper stage empty. However, I have designed this in a way where the upper stage, the lander actually, will make it into orbit fully fueled, while this will make it into orbit. Actually, hold up. I might be able to adjust that a little bit. I should be able to make it into orbit just by itself, right? What am I trying to say here? I'm confusing myself. The when this gets into orbit, the upper stage will be empty while this will be full. The lander will be full of fuel. So we don't need to do as drastic as a refueling mission, right? And we could also leave that in orbit for potential future later flights, right? We can just put it in orbit where when we go to build our eventual craft, we can just rendezvous with it. Okay. My hope is that Artemis will help alleviate this a bit, considering it's a NASA-led moon program which will be very visible, the whole woman and person of color thing. In addition to just being generally admirable, could also be seen as a bit of an olive branch of space and liberalism aren't in diametric opposition, after years of Elon Twitter being the only thing people see about space versus social politics. True, and although here's the thing though, the most visible aspect, kind of play devil's advocate, right? The most visible aspect of the Artemis program is going to be the landing itself, and Artemis 3 and 4 are set to use Starship as its lander. Are people going to see that and basically say the only reason why NASA can get to the moon is because of Elon Musk, right? You'll have one group which will be like, yeah, that's great, and the other group which will be like, why are we entirely basically relying on this guy to get to the moon? Now, of course, whether or not that means that hurts the Artemis program, at least in terms of public image, or that motivates, say, politicians to the sustainable lunar development contract, the second lander, to kind of accelerate and potentially for future Artemis missions not use Starship and just use the second lander. That's, probably built by a defense manufacturer, but at least it's not, the guy that a lot of people don't like. Anyways, okay, let's go ahead and launch this, right? About 15 minutes before I'm going to stop the stream. That's that. Ugh. Oh well. To be honest, there's a good chance we're overanalyzing this, considering most people don't actually care, and the politicians who actually decide generally care more about pork barrel. Yeah. Yeah, they're. Oh my gosh, this thing looks ridiculous. That is entirely true. The general public, like, I think I once heard it described this way, which is, how often does the general public see a science story about, say, climate change versus spaceflight, right? The general public, news stories about climate change are there all the time, every day, while you only really see a big spaceflight story every couple of months, right? And part of that's just due to the nature of spaceflight versus climate change, but more people are probably going to care about the climate change story than the spaceflight story, simply because of the difference in coverage and the difference in terms of, the events, basically. And there's a chance that, the only people who will care about SpaceX being the lander, being the builder and operator of the lander on Artemis 3 or 4 are people who already don't like Elon Musk anyways, and who are already pretty vocal about it, right? That's entirely possible. We could be overanalyzing this. Anyways, I'm going to test this out. This is going to be utterly ridiculous. So let's go ahead. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, this is a KSP stream. I don't care. We can talk about space policy and space flight. Oh my gosh. The boosters are wobbling. Well, that's no good. Why are the boosters wobbling so much? Up. Oh, my music stopped. Ugh. Wait, why can't I hear anything? Oh my gosh. Uh, uh, suboptimal. Possibly. For whatever reason, can you hear the music, Bud? I think my earbuds may have broken, like, permanently. Because I can't hear any of the music that's playing right now. Oh well. Music is still on. Okay, so it's just on my end where I can't hear shit. Oh well. Okay, that's something we gotta fix. Might just be able to fix it by just auto-strutting the heaviest part. I don't know, I'm gonna add more struts. I mean, that thing worked pretty well, but, oh well. AS4 strut connector, right? Prefer to do this in the SVH, but oh well. Ugh. Okay, so the music is just on my end. It's good to know. Just me who can't hear shit right now. Okay, or lander launch vehicle. Let's see if that does it. Oh, hello, KSP? Damn, I had a headache at the beginning of the stream, and now I just straight up don't. I don't know. Well, I did take Tylenol before this, so that's probably why, but I don't know, maybe it's me focusing on KSP has just distracted the fact that I don't have a headache. Okay, let's try this one more time. That seems pretty solid. Testing mode. Okay. I think you can gimbal pretty well. Let's look at orbit, right? SRBs are doing their job of mostly just lifting us up into space. I can throttle back for max Q. Hey, this thing is doing pretty well. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is working. Hey, let's go. Okay. I'll back up. Hog indeed. Oh my gosh, this is working perfect. Well, let's get to stage set and see if it works perfectly then. Alright, booster engine, booster cutoff, drop away. Oh, look at that. Hey! It's my big dumb booster. These are like 7-meter parts, by the way. And look how much Delta V we have left over. I may have inadvertently designed a rocket where we don't actually need the tanker. See if this thing gets into orbit. If this thing gets into orbit, I'm gonna stop, and then tomorrow we're gonna flight test this thing. see if we can flatten out our trajectory, push out the periapsis. Inclination is a little Hey, it's working pretty well. Well, what I'm doing is I intentionally flattened out my trajectory so we can, the apoapsis is going up a lot slower, but our periapsis is going to rise quicker, so, but it is working very nicely. Okay, note to self, tomorrow after work, which luckily I'm getting out early, which is nice. I need to go buy a new pair of earbuds. Oh my gosh, this trajectory is perfect. $100 by -87. Oh my gosh, that is okay. I'm gonna quick save, and I'm gonna deploy the fairing. Okay, the fairing deploys properly, which is good. We're in space now. Hey, okay. I just need to tilt down, right? I want to see how much fuel we have left over. The core stage should... We have... Oh, we have enough Delta V to actually make it out to the Mun. We have way more than enough Delta V. Oh my gosh. Push the periapsis up. By 98, and we still have 270 meters a second left. Oh my gosh, this is excellent. This is perfect. You see it? This is based. I said it again. I said the funny word again. Well, I'm happy. Very, very nice. Okay, yeah. It's only a couple of minutes until till I said I was going to end the stream. Who is playing Kerbal Space Program? I'm just curious. No one that I know. Oh well. Yeah, like nobody's playing KSP. Okay, that's fine. Well, tomorrow we're gonna go flight test this thing. I think this is good to go, and I don't even need to refuel it on orbit. Excellent. Okay. And it didn't drain. Well, no, this crossfeed is disabled there. Okay, well, let's get a picture. That looks utterly ridiculous. Now we need to turn this into a wet workshop. Massive space station. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you, everyone who was watching. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Spud. Thank you, Ryan, for popping in. I know this was a bit of a shorter one. The streams have been a bit shorter recently, but I haven't been able to stream that much, or I haven't been up to streaming that much. But I will see you all in the next one. So goodbye, everybody. Bye.